My promise to you is that by the end of this video, you'll never get to lower your prices ever again in your business. So let's get started. So for most of the entrepreneurs out there, they think that if they get to lower their prices, they are going to attract more clients, which isn't quite a thing that gets to happen. In fact, what this really does is it trains their target audience or their ideal clients to see them as cheap. And when your clients get to see you as someone who is cheap, they start associating you and your business to be cheap. And just as with all cheap businesses, all that they get to do is drain you, they get to make you broke. In the worst case scenario, they get to make you burn out as the owner. So, my question now becomes, what is it that you get to do about it? If you're interested in answering this question, just hit the like button, and while at it, don't forget to subscribe. For those of you watching me for the first time, I'm Alan. I hope solopreneurs and entrepreneurs start, grow, and scale their business, specifically focusing on pricing with confidence. So let's get into the video. The first thing you really need to do here is you've got to crack the myth. You've got to crack open the lie that is holding you back. And that is none other than the more clients lie. So before you even think of solutions, before you even think of anything, you really need to understand that the more clients lie is what's holding you back. Okay. So you probably had people say, or yourself say, that if I get to lower my prices, I'm going to attract more clients. And yeah, it may sound logical on paper, or it might sound logical in the first place, but does it really mean that the more clients you get to have is the more money you get to make? No, because the truth is, lower prices don't get to attract better clients. What they do attract is clients that are hesitant, clients that are so demanding, clients that are so needy, clients that are high maintenance, and worst case scenario, clients that get to pay less while expecting to have a lot of results to their names. And that's not even the end of it. Yeah. When you get to lower your prices, the clients that you tend to attract in that period where your prices are low, they don't even get to stay for a longer time, because people who buy based on price, they'll eventually get to live based on price. So what does that get to mean? If you ever found yourself in this battlefield of you trying to face head on the lowering your price in order to attract more clients, or the more clients lie, here's my advice to you. Instead of just lowering your prices, why not just go ahead and build loyalty? Because it is this loyalty that is going to help you build up your business. And now that we've cracked open the lie, the next thing you need to understand is that pricing is a story. So fix yours and then attract the right clients. Every price is a story. Charging $100 basically says that I am basic. When you get to charge $1,000, it says that I'm valuable. But when you get to charge $10,000, it basically says that you're a transformational person. And so, if you ever thought of you lowering your prices, I want to ask you one simple question. What kind of story is it that you want to communicate? Do you want to communicate your story as someone who is transformational, as someone who is valuable, as someone who is basic, or as someone who isn't part of the three tiers I've talked about? Because let's all agree, for the people that get to lower their prices, their stories even match up with the kind of prices they get to lower too. For instance, for every time someone lowers their prices, you're probably going to hear stories which are like, my offer is not good, that is why I have to cut off the prices. Or people are not buying, maybe that is why I'm cutting the prices. And to some of them, they might even say, I'm lowering my prices because I need to attract more clients, which takes us back to the myth, which is the more clients myth. So every time you think of lowering your prices, think of you telling a more weird kind of story. And the fastest way you're going to ever lose respect, not from just your clients, but from you yourself as a person, is by lowering your prices. So now my question to you is, what kind of story are you going to tell with your prices? Just let me know in the comment section. And now that we've cracked open the lie, we've now seen that pricing is a story and that we need to fix our story in order for us to attract the right clients. So let's get a bit practical here. Yeah? So now we see that if we get to lower our prices, yeah, it will directly mean that we have to increase on the number of clients that we have to attract or to service in order for us to meet our income goals. So what does that get to mean? It means that in order for us to meet our income goals, we have to increase on the number of clients. Yeah? And with an increase in the number of clients, it means we have more work that we have to do in order for us to meet our income goals. Yeah. So what normally happens when you have more work, it will directly mean that there is a decrease or there is less time that we tend to have available. Yeah. So when there is less time available for us, it means that the quality of the products and the services that we tend to deliver to our client is going to be less, or it's going to be low. Yeah. And with all low quality products and services, there's going to be an increase in refunds, an increase in complaints, and an increase in prices. So this alone, this practical aspect alone, is just enough of the reason I can give to you as not to ever get to lower your prices. Generally speaking, when you look at all this, it is signaling that the more you get to lower your prices is the more hard work you're going to have. So now that we've seen the practical aspect of it, let's get to talk about confidence. How do you get to build confidence in order for you not to charge lower prices? Every price that you get to set is a reflection of your self-belief. So when you get to discount too often, you're basically communicating that, oh, you doubt your worth. That is one. The second thing is that you're going to start showing up with less confidence. And when that gets to happen, your clients will immediately get to notice that. And here's a pro tip I want to pass on to you. Clients don't get to buy your products or services. They buy into your certainty. So if your voice shakes when you make your price or when you mention your price, they are going to sense it. If you ever get to hesitate, then they are going to negotiate. That is why pricing confidence is not optional, but is a survival tool that you'll ever get to need if you ever want to grow your business. Are you finding value in this video? Because if you are, please consider hitting the like button, and while at it, don't forget to subscribe. So back to the video. Now you might be wondering, if lowering your prices isn't the answer, then what is? Now here's my advice to you. Start competing on value rather than cost, because it is the value that is going to make you an exceptional person, because everyone out there is competing based on price. But when you get to compete based on the transformation, based on the relief, based on the results that people get to have, then that is going to set you apart and you'll never get to compete for price. The second thing you need to do is that make your offer so good that it makes your price look small. That is so important, because most of the offers out there are trash. They promise something and they don't deliver. Some of them, they overpromise, but when it comes to bringing in the transformation, when it comes to bringing in the results, they don't get to do that. So your part as a service provider, your part as a solopreneur is to maybe under-promise, but overget to deliver. And when you get to do that, when people start seeing the transformation that you get to bring back to the results and value, is that they are going to look at it and say, oh, now this is a cheat. The price is too small for what I've realized, for what I've gained. And that is so important. And then lastly, if at all you feel like your offer isn't that great, then what you have to do is get to stack bonuses on that offer, get to give guarantee, get to give assurance that people are going to get the transformation that they are coming to get. So that is how you get to compete the right way. Because at the end of the day, your goal isn't to be the cheapest, but to be the only one that is worth paying for.